in San Francisco, they have very specialized product guys like this one that probably you spent 10 years working on developing products, and here we don't have that depth of experience. And I was wondering if you could tell us what makes a product person or experience as opposed to what I might just think of as a tech person or a programmer. What makes someone who can actually specialize in a product?
That's actually a good question, because at Eventbrite we have a lot of people joining the company every week, and every month I actually present to the company around what is product management to the new hires, because most people don't actually really understand what the concept of product management is. Arguably, it's a foreign concept to a lot of people, but and it started in the Silicon Valley, and that's probably why it's very prevalent in that region. But the concept is it's a person in the organization or a group of people that are going to be in charge of representing the voice of the customer. So for us, it's going to be organizers or attendees. But when we're going to be working closely with engineering, with design, with all the different functions in the organization to make sure we build the right product for the right audience. Often you have to make some trade-offs between going down a path that might be easier to do from a technical standpoint, but that's not going to lead to the same great customer experience. Or you might take more time, and it's going to be a better customer experience, but it's going to take more time. So we help kind of find the right trade-off in the organization. You asked me what type of people make good product managers. In general, it's people that are curious, that never stop to learn, that are technical in the way they can actually discuss with an engineer or designer, be part of a technical conversation and understand what's happening. It's going to be somebody who is going to learn a lot about the technology world that surrounds them, so that they can actually bring new trends into the conversation and say, hey, have we seen this technology? Should we embrace it and go after it? And it's somebody that's analytical. You cannot do that job if you don't know how to manage a lot of data and make decisions based on data.
Do you have to be obsessed with the customer experience and customer feedback?
I don't know if you need to be obsessed. I think you need to, it's another, so creating a great customer experience it's a lengthy process, and it's a work of art, but it's, you have to balance, different things. You have to balance schedule and quality of the product and technical feasibility. And so, it's being able to find the right trade-off and to build the right experience, but not spend 5 years on something you could have done 95% as well in 6 months. That's usually the complexity of the exercise.
So the iPhone 6 just came out, and I'm still waiting for mine. I won't mention the carrier, but Apple has a very distinct way that they develop products, and say Google has a very, maybe not opposite way, but a very different way. And I was wondering if you could tell me about those states. I mean, Jobs famously said, I don't ask the customer what they want, I tell them what they want. Is that the way you think as well?
So it's actually interesting you ask. I actually teach a class at USF. It's a school in San Francisco. Okay. It's a university around building products. And I've actually been lucky enough in my career to be exposed to kind of the two ways you just described. There's kind of the Apple way. Apple started with this concept of building products by thinking long term. Like, if you build an iPhone, you kind of need to think about it almost 2 years before. Like, what will a customer want 2 years from now? And at Amazon, we embraced a lot of that approach as well, which was kind of the working backwards process. I don't know if you've ever heard this, but the idea is when you start working on a product, you write the press release first. So you actually think about what customers are going to be exposed to 2 years from now, and then you try to work to that vision. You often I think you can get to 95% of it if you do your homework well at the beginning. So that's kind of what I would describe as the Apple way of doing things. Then Google and places like Twitter, where I was exposed to that, and Facebook, and a lot of what we do at Eventbrite is about quick iteration on improving the product. So you're going to say, I want to make the sign-up process easier for customers to be able to sign up faster. So you're going to try different approaches. You're going to A/B test those approaches. You're going to measure which ones work better. You usually measure on a percentage of your users. You don't do that on all of the users, so you have some control and some tests. And then at the end, you see what approach works better, and then you ship it to everybody. And those can be done in a very quick 2-week, 3-week type of sprints, and you can get to iterate really fast on your product. So that's more of the Google approach. Like your search page on Google, they do that every day. They run dozens of experiments on that page. They move things around. They add some specific features for you to see if you're interested in them, and then they'll ship the ones that work well.
Yeah,
So these are two very, very different approaches that arguably require two different types of brains to work on that.
Which one are you?
I've learned to be proficient in both. So I mean, it's been something that I've learned how to do both, and I think for our business at Eventbrite, we need both actually, because there are areas where we have an established business. So the organizer side is, has been very successful. Last year we ticketed $1 billion, of tickets. Organizers have very positive feedback on what we do, and I think we can do better. So we're going to continue iterating in a quick way to see what works better for our audience. And then there's areas where we have to be breaking new grounds. I think on the mobile side, the app you have in your pocket, I think we have opportunities to do things that are very disruptive, and those we're going to launch them and dream new experiences and launch them and see how they do. But I don't think we're going to be A/B test our way into it.
Don't miss London Real. Subscribe now.
Many technology entrepreneurs don't know how to pitch their startup, and when you're doing a startup you can't afford expensive PR people and things like that, so you have to pitch the media yourself, and they weren't doing it right. In London you have the financial tech industry is very big, you have a fashion industry, it's very big, media is big, arts, culture, you name it. So all these vertical industries are all equally big. Silicon Valley is no longer a place, it's a state of mind. So if you have that state of mind, you can do anything.